What's good, everybody? In my video today, we're talking about how to multiply matrices. I've linked the other video on how to add them down below. Hopefully, you guys like this video. So the first thing when I teach this subject, guys, I always tell students, let's think about our rows times columns. So, rows run from left to right, columns run up and down, okay? So when we look at this first matrix, we're going to have a matrix that has two rows times three columns. And then in the second matrix, we have three rows times two columns. I always tell students to write this out to make it easier for them. And this is what I mean. So we need to know that the columns in the first matrix and the rows in the second one have to be the same for us to multiply. And in this case, they're the same, so we can multiply these two matrices. Now, the second part is students wonder, hey, what is going to be the answer? What is the other matrix going to look like after I multiply? And that comes from the outside numbers. So after I multiply these two matrices together, I'm going to have one that's going to be two rows by two columns. So we have column one, column two, row one, and row two. And the way that we're going to multiply this, I'm going to show you guys. So we're going to multiply row one with column one. So once we set this up, we're going to have 4 times 10 plus 6 times 7 plus 5 times 6. All right. And after we multiply, what we're going to get is 40 plus 42 plus 30, and this should be equal to 112. Now, where exactly do we put this 112? Well, when we think about it, we multiply the first row by the first column, so it's going to go in row 1, column 1. So here is my 112. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to go over to my second row, and we're going to multiply it by the second column. So now we go back and we repeat the process. 3 times 10 plus 8 times 7 plus 2 times 6. So basically, we're just going row times column. And when I simplify this now, I'm going to get 30 plus 56 plus 16. And I'm just going to grab my calculator to speed the process up. So we should get 102. And this is going to go in row 2, column 1. So here goes our 102. Now what we need to do is repeat this process, but now instead of multiplying row 1 and row 2 by column 1, we're now going to multiply by column 2. So let's go back. So repeat the process, and guys, just make sure that you write it out because this is a challenging part. Sometimes students just get confused or they may make a small mistake by multiplying the wrong numbers. So we repeat the process, 4 times 10. Oops, sorry, and see, I made that mistake right there. That's why I say just double check. So we have 4 times 5, because we're multiplying by column 2 now, plus 6 times 3, plus 5 times 2. When we simplify this, we're going to get 20 plus 18 plus 10, which should be about 48 if I'm not mistaken. Let's just double check. No, actually, I think that's right. So now we're going to put 48. So row 1, column 2, row 1, column 2, just to make sure that you guys are on the same page. Now to finish up this problem now, we're going to go ahead and multiply row 2 by column 2, and this is how it should look. We'll do 3 times 5 plus 8 times 3, and then plus 2 times 2. Once we simplify, we're going to get 15 plus 24 plus 4, and this is going to give us, let's see, 15 plus 24. All right, we should have 43. And if we now look at our answer, we have 2 rows, 2 columns as our product. But before we go, we're going to look at another example where we have different dimensions. So we're moving on to our second problem, and now we need to start back over. So the first thing we need to do, can we multiply these two matrices, right? And when we look, this is going to be a 1 times 3 matrix, right? And then we look at our second one, it's going to be a 3 by 4 matrix. So like we said in the previous video, those two inside numbers are the same. So that means, yes, we can multiply those two. And when we multiply those two, we should get a matrix that's going to be 1 by 4. So one row, 4 columns. So let's go through now and let's multiply. So when we set this up, we're going to do 3 times 1 plus 5 times 2 plus 2 times 4. All right? So this is going to be in the first row, first column. So we'll have 3 plus 10 plus 8, and we're going to get the answer of 21. So that's the first one. Now, when we repeat this process, luckily for us, we only have one row. We're just now going to move over to the second column. So we're going to switch these numbers out, and we're going to have 3 times 3 plus 5 times 5 plus 2 times 2. And when we simplify, let's see, what are we going to get? We should get, let's see, 25, 29, 30. We should get 38 as an answer. All right. So now we're halfway done. We done multiplied the row, that first row, by column 1, column 2. Now we have to continue going into the last 2 columns. So let's repeat the process. And like I said, guys, this is the challenging part, just staying organized. But if I were you, just write it out, simplify it, take your time. So now we go back. We have 3 times 5 plus 5 times 7 plus 2 times 8. And we simply got to get 15 plus 35 plus 16. I'm going to bring out the calculator real quick to speed this up. And we're going to get 66 as an answer. Now, we have to repeat this process one more time, okay? And just like I said, guys, remember that these outside numbers let us know what the matrix is going to look like. So when I go back, we're going to have, cross this column out, 3 times 9 plus 5 times 10 plus 2 times 6. And we get 27 plus 50 plus 16. And when we simplify, I think this is going to give us 93. Let's just double check. Yeah, we're going to get 93 as our answer. And when we look at this, we only have one row, column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, just like those two outside numbers told us. Hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on Algebra 1 with Mr. Peters. Smash the like button for us, subscribe to the channel, and leave any comments for future videos you guys would like to see. Thank you.